The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. And before our weekend was rudely interrupted by a frozen dolly of ice cream and a foot that was just stuck out a couple inches too far, we played the first game of the second half of the season between the Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers. The White Sox drew first blood with an Aurelio Rodriguez fielder's choice to make it 1-0 in the second. Then Marshall Edwards laid down the law. He scored Roy Howell, to make it 1-1 the bottom of the second. Then the bottom fell out for Milwaukee as Steve Kemp hit a solo shot in the third to make it 2-1, his 13th of the year. He's got a 13-game hitting streak. Then that man Aurelio Rodriguez again doubled home Mike Squires to make it 3-1 in the fourth. Squires singled home Pudge Fisk in the sixth to make it 4-1, and then the White Sox opened up the gates 2 in the ninth to win the first of this doubleheader 6-1. What do you mean it's taken us 3 days to get to the second game? Well, you get run over by an ice cream cart, and you tell me how you feel. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball 1982, as my mouse is stuck. Today, the second half of a doubleheader between the Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers. Oops. It is Mike Caldwell against LaMarr Hoyt. And Milwaukee only has 22 players available.
Play ball!
That's crazy, you say. Yes, it is. Why, hi there, I'm Ron Chuckett. Welcome back to this second game of the doubleheader, and it's now 69 degrees on this July 15th. We'll have 2 games for you today. We're going to finish up this one. You know what happens? If you're in school, if you miss a day, you just kind of miss a day. But here in the real life world of Major League Simming, if you miss a day, you got to make it up. And so today is makeup day. No, I'm not wearing any makeup, and no, I will not be wearing any makeup for game 2. Tonight at 7 o'clock, we'll do the aforementioned Cincinnati Reds and St. Louis Cardinals, and that will catch us up for our 3 expected baseball games next week if I don't get hit by anything else, lightning, hail, flying things of ice cream, yoga beauties, or all that. So that will be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and Friday. But today, it's 2 games. The one you're seeing now, the second game between Chicago and Milwaukee, and then Cincinnati and St. Louis tonight. And the second game of this doubleheader features LaMarr Hoyt and Mike Caldwell. The Detroit Tigers want the White Sox to sweep. They don't really want to get in a 3-way tussle between Baltimore, Milwaukee, and themselves. And the West is getting tight because the Royals finished the first half on fire. We'll get to the standings in a second. Let me call up the chat and say hello to Bobby Catalano, Phantomatic, Robbie Wartburg. Bobby, what you having for lunch? Baseball demos, driving so he can't type a lot. You know what? He gave that excuse yesterday and has just run out of puns. Feeling better today? Thanks a bunch. All right. If you weren't with us on Thursday when we last had a game, here are the standings. The only change between this and the All-Star break is we played the 1 game. So Milwaukee comes into this one losers of 1, but winners of 7 of their last 10. So they're 4 games behind Detroit. Now Milwaukee will have their problems coming up. They really have no bullpen. They're going to lose Raleigh Fingers by Labor Day. Detroit has lost Kirk Gibson for the year, and we'll see what happens with them. But that really is a 4-team race in the American League East. Don't count out Toronto. They're very good. In the West, Chicago, they need some help here. They've won 1 straight. They've dropped 7-10 before the break, and are 5.5 behind California. So that's the standings coming in. And if you're wondering, we'll get to the Cincinnati-St. Louis game is technically a Saturday game. All right, so Mike Caldwell is 6-7 on the year with a 4.26 ERA. The wifey's headed out for grocery shopping. So you might see the cat. Caldwell making start number 19 on the season. As I said, 6-7 on the year with a 4.26 ERA. But he's thrown 137 in the third innings and allowed 156 hits. Lefty made his last start on July 9th against the Kansas City Royals and was pummeled. He got the win, but was pummeled. 7 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. He walked 1 and struck out none. So on the year, as I told you, 137 in the third innings, 156 hits, 73 runs, 65 earned, 15 homers. He has walked 28 and struck out 49. So he is the ultimate contact pitcher on the interstate, so I can pick my spots. As long as you're not picking your nose, Dave, we're good. All right, here's the lineup for the White Sox at 45 and 38. This is game number 84 for them. Ron LaFleur leads it off in center field. Tony Bernazard will bat second and play second. Steve Kemp, who's hitting on a 13-game hitting streak, is the left fielder. He'll bat third. Greg Luzinski, your DH, will clean up. Wimpy Pachorik will play first and bat fifth. Carlton Fisk made his appearance on Thursday. You missed it. Mark Hill behind the plate. He'll bat sixth. And catch the Hall of Famer Harold Baines will play right and bat seventh. I believe that is Vance Law at short. He will bat eighth. And Aurelio Rodriguez will bat ninth and play third. For Milwaukee on defense, Ben Ogilvie at 9 and 7 in left. Gorman Thomas at 7 and 6 in center. And nomad fisherman Charlie Moore 7 and 9 in right. Paul Molitor 7 at third. Robin Yount, a perfect 10 at short. Eddie Romero is the second baseman. Well, that's kind of a surprise. He's a 7 at second and a number 1 in all of our hearts as a Red Sox utility player. And Cecil Cooper at 8 at first. Ned Yost, a terrible catcher, a 2-1 to catch Caldwell here in game 2. Dangerous now that I know how to premiere. Yep, baseball demos. Doing some stuff on tape, but you can watch his now streams with you. And by the way, you shot that video with your I don't want you to lose focus on driving, but that if you used a cell phone cam for that, that was absolutely magnificent video quality. Just putting it out there. Ronnie LaFleur is at 269, 6 homers and 23 RBI. First of 2 today. We're in St. Louis tonight for the Reds and the Cardinals. And Caldwell delivers, struck him out. He swung on and missed on an 0-2 pitch for the start of the ball game. If his fastball's only at 84, oh my God. So Tony Bernazard at 246, 6 homers and 39 RBI in that cell phone cam. Man, they are amazing, aren't they? I mean, that was really good quality stuff. Of course, most of your streams are. Caldwell delivers, and Bernazard slaps that one in the right field. Moore picks it up on a hop, and that'll bring up Kemp, who's sitting on a 13-game hitting streak. Steve at 281, 13 homers and 48 RBI. Just the start of things, 2 streams today, 1 at noon and 1 at 7 Eastern, and then no stream tomorrow, because we're doing 2 today, and then baseball returns on Tuesday. Throw to first, Bernazard is back with a vengeance. And so we're going to pitch out. Runner goes. Throw from Yost is not in time. So Bernazard gets his 9th steal of the year. And I'll bring up Kemp with a 1-0 count. Lefty versus lefty. Caldwell's pitch. There's a ground ball to Yount over to Cooper at first for the first out. Bernazard will hold. And then I'll bring up the ball. Greg Luzinski, 285, 7 homers, and 44 RBI. No football tomorrow night. We're going to do the 75 Cowboys and Vikings on Wednesday night. But no football tomorrow night. Got other things to do. Pitch from Caldwell. Luzinski hits a fly ball into left. That goes Ogilvie. Makes the catch against the track, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After half an inning, Chicago nothing, Milwaukee coming up. So, we do have a picture of LaMarr Hoyt. It looks like Grizzly Adams. 6-8 on the year with a 4.23 ERA. And if the White Sox are going to make a run here, They need him to be good. It's the start number 16 for him. His last start came on July 8th against the Tigers. 7 in the third innings, 10 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. He started July 5th against the Brewers, which would have been a Monday game, and he went 1/3 of an inning. He allowed 7 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, and a strikeout. So his ERA jumped from 3.72 to 4.26. So 121 in the third innings, 128 hits, 11 home runs allowed, 63 runs, 57 earned, 35 walks, and 75 strikeouts. And as I said, the ERA of 4.23. Here's the lineup he will face. Paul Molitor leads it off. Robert Yount will bat second. Cecil Cooper will bat third. Ben Ogilvie cleans up in left and fourth. Gorman Thomas, the center fielder, bats fifth. Roy Howell, the DH, will bat sixth. And then Charlie Moore will go seventh. Eddie Romero will play second and bat eighth. And Ned Yost will bat ninth. See, that's the thing. Will Drew Pearson be allowed to push off? I hope so. I mean, someone else requested that game. And because they want history to change. So we'll see. Happy Sunday, Al. You can watch this one live. Robbie, when I thought I was doing the Monday game, that was before I got my foot smashed. And like I said, I'm doing 2 streams today. And I don't really want to necessarily stream every day. Did 2.5 hours of fun with Al last night. And we'll, of course, stream baseball on Tuesday. So, Molitor at 293, 13 homers and 49 RBI. Hoyt delivers, and there's a ground ball right back to LaMarr over to Pachort for the out. So Kempa 6-2 and left. LaFleur, a 4 range and an 8 arm, and Baines, the best defensive outfielder, a 7-8. Rodriguez is a good third baseman. He's a 9. Vance Law, 5 at short. Bernazard, a 6 at second. And Pachoric, a 5 at first. Mark Hill has a good arm. He's got a 7, but does not have great range. He's a 2. Robert Yount at 323, 15 homers and 45 RBI. If you forgot, Chicago won the first game of this twin bill 6-1. 69 degrees and no wind as we play the nightcap of this 40-day-old doubleheader. And Yount lines out one to his counterpart, Law, 2 out. Didn't we have fun with the Smurfs? I thought so. How you doing, Sports Time Machine? Here's Cecil Cooper, 294, 11 homers, and a Major League leading 71 RBI. That's pretty amazing. This is game 85 for the Brewers. Fly ball to right. Baines in the corner. It is foul by about a foot. Trout thought it was gone. Instead, it's a long, loud strike. So the count is 0-2. Hoyt delivers, and there's a base hit into right center field. Baines picks it up on a hop, and Cooper's on with a single. So 2 out for Ben Ogilvie at 275. 21 homers already and 59 RBI. Ogilvie's pitch. There's a ground ball to Pachoric. Takes it to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 1, Chicago nothing, Milwaukee nothing. It'll be Pachoric, Hill, and Baines. Al shopping. What you buying me, Al? Pachoric at 337, 12 homers and 47 RBI. The right answer to that, Ron, is he's buying you a clue. And I'm still not taking off my socks for you, buddy. Caldwell delivers, and Pachoric hits this one in a deep right. Back goes Moore in the corner, 1 out. Brings up Mark Hill at 293. Already hit 5 homers on the year. And 9 RBI. We playing the 1 out, top the second. Caldwell delivers, and Hill hits a pop-up right side. Romero 2 out. Brings up Harold Baines. Harold at 237, 12 homers and 48 is buying me a vowel. 12 homers and 48 RBI for Baines. Okay, Vanna. You can take the 250 out of petty cash. Pitch to Baines is ball four. And so the White Sox have a runner on and 2 out. Full count pitch was high and tight, and that'll bring up Vance Law at 295. No homers and 14 RBI. Baines a threat to steal, but we'll ignore that. Pitch to Law is a fly ball to right center. Thomas should have it, and he does. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1.5, it's the White Sox nothing and the Brewers nothing. By the way, the foot is feeling considerably better. Knee's a little sore, but I can bend the toe, flex the toes, and give my ankle the normal amount of movement. And haven't taken any Advil in 24 hours, so that's a good sign. Gorman Thomas's average is not a good sign. It fell below the Mendoza line. He's hitting 199 with 21 homers and 49 RBI. Not a complete day without a pun. You know, I didn't have my glasses on, and so when I originally read that, I didn't read that as pun. Here's the pitch to Thomas. Struck him out. He changed a 1-2 breaking ball outside the zone for strike 3, and that's the first strikeout for Hoyt. Brings up Roy Howell at 230, 2 homers, and 7 RBI. Hoyt's ready, and so is Howell. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to center. LaFleur has that tracked all the way. 2 out. Moore at 258, 9 homers, and 37 RBI. Good year for Charlie. He was a catcher for them at some point, too, if I remember correctly. Pitch. And there's a line drive base hit past Bernazard. So the second hit of the game for the Brewers. Here's Eddie Romero at 188, a homer and 8 RBI. So let's see what Milwaukee can do here. First game went to the, almost said the Cubs, the White Sox 6-1. Pitch to Romero was a ground ball to Rodriguez at third. Goes to Bernazard for the shutout at second, and that will retire the side. 2 in the books, no runs, a hit, and no errors. It is the White Sox nothing, the Brewers nothing on Retro Sports Network. Well, hope you are enjoying this special Sunday stream. Oh, my nose is just like crazy. I should stop snorting that Coke. It'll be Rodriguez, LaFleur, and Bernazard for the White Sox here in the third. Rodriguez at 284, no homers and 10 RBI. The plane. That's what I said when that got ran over by the ice cream cart. The pain. Caldwell's a lefty, and Rodriguez is a 260 hitter against lefties. Pitch from Caldwell is a ground ball to Romero at second over to Cooper for the out. Or snort more. Well, you know what, Bubba? That's true. I could snort more. I don't know why, but you know, I've made it to 47. Might as well start enjoying myself as Ron LaFleur comes to the plate. Oh boy. So through 9 batters, Caldwell has been very tidy. 30 pitches, 2 in the third innings, a hit allowed. He has walked 1 and struck out 1. And that strikeout was LaFleur, who was 0 for 1. Here's the pitch, and there's a ground ball to Cooper. Takes it to the bag himself. 2 out. So Caldwell giving the Brewers what they need after a shaky game 1. You don't want to say that X amount is too far to be back. I mean, we know that in this time in 1978, the Yankees started their 14.5 game death march through the American League East. But that's few and far between. You've reached the point now where you're just making it all the much harder if you're going to come back and win. So the Brewers really want to split here. Bernazard singled and stole a base. His 9th of the year. He's 1 for 1. A pain in the pain. You're my wife? I didn't realize that. That would be a good Mr. Rourke, and you can cast a check. Yeah, you know what? Al would be good as Mr. Rourke. You know, wear those white coats. Kind of fit for that show. Pitch from Caldwell, and Bernazar lines that one right to Cooper at first, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2.5 in the books here in Milwaukee. It's Chicago nothing. Here, the Brewers nothing. It'll be Yost, who they expect to bunt. He's not going to bunt. And the top of the lineup, Molitor and Yount. Hoyt's ready. Yost strikes out. He swung on and missed a changeup at 79, and that is the second strikeout for Hoyt. 1 out. So through 9 batters, Hoyt 2 1/3 innings, 37 pitches, 2 hits and 2 strikeouts. Paul Molitor's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Hoyt to start the second game for Milwaukee. There's the pitch, and there's a ground ball right back to Hoyt. Over to Paciorek, 2 out. So then I'll bring up Robin Yount. Robin lined out to short. We're going to get that again. Let's see what happens. Hoyt delivers and struck him out. He chased one out of the zone, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3 at County Stadium, it's the White Sox nothing, Milwaukee nothing. So Steve Kemp, Greg Luzinski, and Tom Paciorek here in the 4th. Kemp is 0 for 1. Grounded out to Yount his first time up. No score, top the 4th. Pitch. Got him. Kemp swung on and missed on a 1-2 pitch. So that's 2 for Caldwell, and I'll bring up the bull, Luzinski. Flew out to Ogilvie and down in the left field corner. Pitch. There's a ground ball to Molitor over to Cooper. Across the way, and there's 2 quick outs here in the 4th. For Paciorek, time is 0 for 1. Flew out to Charlie Moore, his first time up. Caldwell delivers, and there's a ground ball to third. Molitor, again, long throw over to Cooper, and Wimpy doesn't possess that much speed. No runs, no hits, no errors. 3.5 in the books. It's the Chi Sox nothing, Milwaukee nothing. And so Cecil Cooper, Ben Ogilvie, and Gorman Thomas here in the 4th. Cooper singled his first time up. Now, here's a trivia question for you. 3 teams have called County Stadium home for baseball. We're not talking about the Packers and all the years they played there. Can you tell me the 3 major league teams that played home games here at County Stadium? Pitch to Cooper from Hoyt. Fly ball to right. Back goes Baines. He makes the catch for the first out. And Ogilvie's 0 for 1. Grounded out to Paciorek, his first time up. Hoyt delivers. And he got him. He got him to look at strike 3. 1-2, 80-mile-an-hour Uncle Charlie there for Hoyt's 4th strikeout. So LaMarr is doing his job. And here's Thomas, who struck out his first time up. See if anyone bites at the trivia question. The 3 Major League Baseball teams to call the County Stadium home. And no, the Cleveland Indians in Major League doesn't count. Pitch to Thomas. He makes contact this time on Rodriguez on the grass. Long throw to Paciorek. And they got him on a bang-banger. What an arm by Rodriguez. He came in on the grass. He picked it up off a hot barehanded one over to Paciorek to retire the side. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After 4, this game is scoreless. So Mark Hill, Harold Baines, and Vance Law. Hill is 0 for 1. No one's going to guess at this trivia question? No, it wasn't the Cubs. This was a nice place. Kind of exposed, and I think it's kind of on the verge. So Sports Time Machine, of course, has nailed the 2 easy ones, the Milwaukee Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers. Pitch to Hill. Liner right to Romero at second for the first out. Brings up Harold Baines, who walked his first time up. Braves, Brewers, and Twins. Nope, was not the Twins. Pitch to Baines is a fly ball, pop up right side. Romero goes into foul territory and makes the catch for the second out. Here in the top of the fifth, Vance Law is 0 for 1. Vance flew out to center. Okay, and baseball demos, why? Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to Yount over to Cooper, and that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We're halfway home in a neat and tidy 25 minutes. It's the White Sox nothing, the Brewers nothing. The time for the in-game box score. Not much to see. The only hit for the Shy Sox are Tony Bernazard. And for Milwaukee, Cooper and Moore. Thus we've had an excellently pitched game. Hoyt, 4 strikeouts over 4, and Caldwell has just scattered the one hit. Dave has it right. It is the White Sox. They had nope. They wanted out of Comiskey. And so in the intervening years between when the Braves fled for Atlanta, I think they did this in 68 and 69, and when when Seattle moved to Milwaukee for the 70 season, they played one game against each American League team in Milwaukee. So 12 or 13 games a year for those 1 or 2 years, just to test the market to see if Milwaukee would be better than Chicago, because Comiskey needed some work, and of course it was a Cubs town, and blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, the Pilots didn't really make it out of the first year. Bud Selig bought the team and moved them to Milwaukee. But that's why. It had to do with the fact that they were testing the waters, kind of like what the Expos did with San Juan, Puerto Rico for a few times in the early part of the last decade. Roy Howell, Charlie Moore, and Eddie Romero here for the Brew Crew. Roy is 0 for 1. He floated to center. Now, there might have been an emergency game or two for some weather or something like that. But that's the general point was that, yes, the 2 of the 3 teams that called County Stadium home are playing in this game. How you doing, Dale? Good to have you along. Pitch to Howell is a ground ball to Lodge short over to Pechort. And this one's moving right along. Brings up Charlie Moore, who singled his first time up. Bottom of the 5th, no score here. Only 3 hits in the game. White delivers, and Moore lines out one to Bernazard for the second out. Brings up Eddie Romero. Hit into a fielder's choice, his last time up, or his only time up. Yes, thanks for that. Sort of like the Nats testing the water on Trevor Rosenthal. Well, if they're testing the water, it definitely needs some more salinization. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to left center. LaFleur goes back. He makes the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5, nothing, which is not a Trevor Rosenthal game. If you're testing the water on Trevor Rosenthal, just go to the liquor part of the store and just test the vodka. So Rodriguez is 0 for 1. LaFleur and Bernazard to follow here as we start the 6th. And can you test? Yeah. Does Action PC do year-end? No, that's all up to you. There's no awards. It's not like OOTP, Mike, in that aspect where it will decide the awards. It'll name an MVP and All-Stars, but I think they're just looking at the best stats. But there's no formal award for this. Pitch from Caldwell to Rodriguez, who's 0 for 1. Ground ball to Cooper. He flips it to Caldwell covering. And that's an out. That is a good picture of County Stadium. That's a lot better than the default, which is even blurrier and had Miller Park in the background. So through 18 batters, Caldwell 64 pitches, 5 1/3 innings, a hit. He has walked 1 and struck out 2. And hope you're hungry because there are a lot of bagels on this scoreboard. Nothing here in this top of the 6th. LaFleur 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. So LaFleur draws the walk. Second walk given up by Caldwell. Throw to first. LaFleur is back. So Bernazard is primed for the sack bunt. So Cooper and Molitor come in. Now, I believe Dale, I got this at PCBallpark.com. I didn't want any of there's a lot of computer-generated images of parks, and I've used them before. But I wanted to make sure that every ballpark I had used in this 82 replay had an actual picture of the ballpark. May not be from the right year, but at least it's an actual picture. Pitch to Bernazard. He does square. Molitor comes in. Good play on the grass. Over to Cooper to get him. So the sacrifice works. Molly read that one all the way. LaFleur to second. 2 out for Steve Kemp, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Kemp still looking to extend his hitting streak here to 13. Caldwell delivers, and there's a high fly ball to center that is long gone. Steve Kemp extends his hitting streak to 14, hits his 14th home run of the year, puts one in the bleachers, and the White Sox lead it 2-0. Caldwell just lifted a little too much of that ball over the plate, and Kemp, who's hitting like a house of fire, just rocketed that one into right center field. So 14 homers, a 14-game hitting streak, and it's 2-0 Chicago. 2 out, top of the 6th. Brings up Lazinski, who was 0 for 2. He flew out to left and grounded to third. Caldwell right back to him, over to Cooper, and that will retire the side. 2 runs on the 1 hit by Kemp, and no errors. 5.5 in the books. It's Chicago 2, Milwaukee nothing. Take a drink. Yost, Molitor, and Yount for Milwaukee. And so if the White Sox win this doubleheader, they'll go to 46-38. And Yost struck out his first time up. Hoyt delivers, and there's a pop-up left side. Rodriguez into foul territory. 1 away. So after 18 batters, LaMarr Hoyt 70 pitches, 5 in the 3rd innings. That's the key. 2 hits and 4 strikeouts. Molly is 0 for 2. Average has dipped to 291. Knocking up on here, and he hits a fly ball to center. LaFleur moves over and bobbles it. Throw it to second. Molitor is in with a 2-big error. And so LaFleur, I don't know if he lost that, and there's no wind here. He must have lost that one in the lights behind home plate, because he thought he gloved it, and when he closed the glove, it bounced off the glove and hit the ground. And Molitor, who has great speed, motored all the way to second. So that'll bring up Yount, who's 0 for 2. He has a strikeout as well. So the Brewers are back in business here in the 6th. Hit and run is on. Yount, ground ball to Law over to Pachorik for the out. So Molitor goes to third. 2 out for Cooper. He was 1 for 2. He's got himself a single and is looking to add on to his league-leading 71 RBI. Hoyt delivers. Cooper, base hit into right center field. Molitor scores. Cooper's going for 3. The throw to Rodriguez is not in time. Baines has a good arm, but Cooper had a good head of steam and put that one all the way to the wall, and it's 2-1 Chicago. Brings up Ben Ogilvie, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Pachorik. That will retire the side as Wimpy goes to the bag himself. But Milwaukee gets on the board. A run on a hit and an error. After 6, Chicago 2, Milwaukee 1. So Pachorik, Hill, and Baines for the White Sox. against Caldwell. We could see a double CG here. Pitch counts are pretty low for both pitchers, 82 through 6. Pachorik, it's a ground ball up the middle. Yount to Cooper for the out. And I'll bring up Mark Hill, who's 0 for 2. So tonight at 7, Cincinnati and St. Louis from Saturday as we start the second half. And then there's only 2 more weeks of July. You get 2 National League games next week. I think the Thursday game is Philadelphia and Los Angeles. I'll look before we get on tonight. Oh, California and Baltimore is the Tuesday afternoon game. That's a good one. Pitch to Hill, who's 0 for 2. Fly ball to right. Moore goes back a couple steps and makes the catch to retire the side. No. Oh, 2 out, Ron. 2 out. Here's Harold Baines. Stop eating the cannoli and looking to see what the traffic is on the GW. There's only 2 out, Phil. Baines is 0 for 1 with a walk. Still 2-1 Chicago here in the top of the 7th. Caldwell delivers, and there's a ground ball to Romero over to Cooper, and that will retire the side. Okay, now, no runs, no hits, no errors. Time to go get your brats and your Miller Lite. Stretch time here in Game 2. 63 degrees, a cool night in July. Chicago leads 2-1. They use pitch counts to some degree then, but not an extreme amount. All right, going on camera here to wish our good buddy Dave Gardner, well, he's got a finger that's not doing so good. It's been bothering him for a bit, and so he could use some good thoughts and warm wishes to help it get better. It keeps getting irritated and swollen and just not good. So he's made some visits to some medical people, and hopefully they can get the magic combination to do that. So I appreciate all the great thoughts that you gave to me when I got nailed by the dolly. He could use them right now too for his finger. Dave, we're thinking about you and hoping that you are better soon and that you're ready Tuesday night for the Tuesday night playoffs in your hockey league, because that's a big league. You got the championship game Tuesday night, and we want you all feeling better and in one piece for that. So we're thinking about you, buddy. Stay strong, and like I said, send him your good wishes. Okay, Gorman, Thomas, Roy Howell, and Charlie Moore. And Thomas is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Back to Dale's question on pitch counts. It was about this time that they at least started to watch. I mean, none of these guys today are hard throwers. So 130 from Hoyt or Caldwell is not, even though that's Pete Vukovic's picture, I think, is not necessarily a great streak on the arm. You know, he threw maybe 90 once in a while. I mean, when we started getting to pitch counts is when you started to see fastballs climbing into the mid-90s, because you were just out there throwing. The Mets used it an awful lot. They didn't use it for Gooden, but especially for back-end starters, so they didn't do when you would start to get tired. Actually, the first time I saw a pitch count was for Don Larson in his perfect game in '56. Thomas is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and he swung at a bad fastball on an 0-2 count, and that's the 5th strikeout for Hoyt. Here's Howell, he's 0 for 2. They counted how many pitches Larson threw in his perfect game against the Brooklyn Dodgers in the '56 World Series. And on that day, he threw 97. And of course, no one reached base. And that's the only perfect game in postseason history and the only no-hitter in World Series history. Howell flew to center and grounded out to short. He's 0 for 2, and he hits this one to third. Rodriguez over to Pachorik for the out, 2 out. Hoyt's just cruising right along here, boys and girls. Brings up Charlie Moore, who's 1 for 2. He's got a single, 1 of 3 hits by the Brew Crew. Cecil Cooper has the other 2. Both pitchers need haircuts. Nah, it was the 80s. Everyone was hairy. Everyone was hairy. I got a picture of me from that era. And yep, same thing. Hair was in. Pitch to Moore. There's a base hit up the middle. And so LaFleur gets it on a laser hop. And so that's the 4th hit for the Brewers. Brings up Romero, who's 0 for 2. 2 out, bottom of the 7th. Tying run on first for the Brewers. Hoyt delivers. Struck him out. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 7, Chicago 2, Milwaukee 1. It'll be Law, Rodriguez, and LaFleur. And Caldwell is cruising right along. He should get the distance here. He's only allowed 2 hits. Law flew out to center and grounded out to out. Top the 8th. Ball 4. So Law on first. And I'll bring up Rodriguez, who can bunt. He's 0 for 2. So Cooper and Molly come in to play the sack bunt. Caldwell's pitch, and that's a bunt down to Yost. Throws to first. Romero covering, and they got it. So the Brewers read it right. It was a sack bunt and just an absolute spectacular one. So Law, the big insurance run, moves to second. And 1 out for LaFleur. So through 27 batters, Caldwell at 95 pitches, 7 1/3 innings, 2 hits, the home run to Kemp. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. LaFleur is 0 for 2. He has walked, struck out, and scored. Late game arrival here. You're just going to sit down where the rich people sit. That's right. It's the opposite of the euchre seats. You really are in the front row. So you brought your bratwurst and your Miller Lite. Oscar Gamble, I don't think his throw was that big at 82, but it might have been. Pitch to LaFleur, gets away from Yost, and Law's on his way to third. So the 1-1 pitch was wild, and so now you're playing him in. You want that run at the plate in the 2-1 game. So everybody playing up. Pitch to LaFleur is a ground ball to Molitor, and it rolls foul. So 2-2 the count. That was just kind of an excuse me swing, and Molitor let that go. So Law and Molitor exchange a joke as Vance moves back to third. Infield still in. Long drive to center. Thomas will have it. Law goes back to tag. He'll score. The throw in was not up the bag, and it's 3-1 Chicago. So the wild pitch really hurt. And the Law scores easily. It sounds like those America's Most Wanted. The Law always scores easily. So here's Tony Bernazard, 1 for 3. He has singled and stole his 9th of the year. Caldwell at 100 pitches. He's still only allowed 2 hits, but 3 runs, and they're all earned. Here's the pitch to Tony. Right back to Caldwell, over to Cooper, and that will retire the side. A run on no hits and no errors. Walks can kill you. 7.5 in the book. Chicago 3, Milwaukee 1. So Yost, Molitor, and Yount for Hoyt. And if Chicago doesn't need to use Barojas in game 2, and that just sets up a good weekend. Yep, Chicago laid the law down. Bum, bum, bum. Yost is struck out, now ground ball to wall over to Pachort for the out. Never fight the law, you'll end up breaking rocks in the hot sun. Bubba, you sound like you know that from experience. That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. There we go. Molitor is 0 for 3. Molly has run scored. He reached on the air by LaFleur in the 6th and then scored the run. So 27 batters for Hoyt, 7 1/3 innings. That's great production. 4 hits, 97 pitches, and 6 strikeouts. He's looking for win number 7. Pitch to Molitor is a liner right back to Law. You don't mess with Law and men named Jim wearing capes. Just putting it out there. Here's Robin Yount. Robin is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. It'll be Kemp, Luzinski, and Pachoric in the 9th for Chicago. Milwaukee needs to hold this to a 2-run lead. If not, chip one back right here. Pitch to Yount. There's a line drive right to Lloyd short, and that's the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the ninth. It's Chicago 3, Milwaukee 1. Milwaukee fought the law, and the law won. Here's Steve Kemp. 1 for 3. Hit his 14th of the year in the 6th and extended his hitting streak to 14 games. Pitch to Kemp. Got him! A 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. So that's 3 for Caldwell. And that'll bring up Luzinski. A whole bunch of old songs here, yep. But do you really think I'm going to be, reciting the greatest hits of Ludacris and Beyonce? Maybe Carrie Payne. Carrie Payne. Katy Perry. There we go. Oh, Luzinski's over 3. I could sing some Perry Como for you, but I think you'd rather look at Katy Perry. Pitch from Caldwell is a ground ball to Cooper. Caldwell covering. The flip over is an out. So 2 out for Tom Pachor. Tom is 0 for 3. Caldwell delivers, and there's a base hit up the middle, and so Pachor hits the 3rd hit for the White Sox. 3 runs on 3 hits and an error for Chicago. They've only left 2 on. I mean, Mike Caldwell has done everything that he's supposed to do. He just hasn't had any support. A run on 4 hits, no errors, and 4 left on for Milwaukee. Cooper, Ogilvie, and Thomas do up for the Brewers in the bottom of the ninth. Mark Hill is 0 for 3. How you doing, Bobby? What was for lunch? What did you have for lunch today? Pitch to Hill is a ground ball foul, third base side. So the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Caldwell tugs at the cap. Hill waves the bat back and forth. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to first. Cooper flips it over to Caldwell, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, and no errors. Cardiac time here in Milwaukee. Chicago 3, the Brewers 1. So Cecil Cooper does have his major league leading 72nd RBI, hit his 3rd triple of the year. He's got a single and 2 for 3. We had steak, mashed potatoes, and garlic breadsticks. Oh, that sounds yummy. I had a bagel. That sounds yummy. All right, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I might leave in a body bag, but never in cuffs. I'm not even going to pronounce that name. Bologna. Todd B had bologna for lunch. So Cooper's 2 for 3. And there you go. And I can do modern music read in the style of Dr. Seuss anytime you'd like. Pitch to Cooper. High fly ball to right. Back goes Baines to the track. It is gone. It is gone. Cooper is homered. He is 3 for 4. He is a double short for the cycle. If this game gets tied, that is his 12th of the year. And it's now 3-2. Let's watch it again. Cooper just got that one. Crushed it right down the line and right. And right between the bleachers and the grandstand. And it's 3-2 Chicago. So now it's Ben Ogilvie. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Brewers need this one desperately. This is the second end of a doubleheader I started on Thursday. And these poor people have waited for 3 days for me to finish this. They don't care about what happened between me and the ding-dong cart. Not at all. Pitch to Ogilvie is a base hit into center field, and the tying run is on for Gorman Thomas, who is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. He has a 3% chance of walking this one off with a homer right now. And so everybody's up. Temperature's now 60 degrees. There's no wind. Wait, that's a picture of Gorman Thomas. Didn't we say that was Apparently we just listed a whole bunch of Brewers pictures with people who needed haircuts. So Hoyt takes his time from the belt. Ball four, and so Thomas takes a walk. The winning run is on, and the tying run is in scoring position for Roy Howell, who is 0 for 3. Who else have I got here? Harvey Keene looks to his bag of tricks and says, I need 245 against righties. They're going to pinch it, Don Money. Appa called Ogilvy in their card sets Banana Man. I don't think I want to know why. So Money into pinch hit. He's a 321 hitter against righties. Nobody out. Bottom of the ninth. Money at 236, 5 homers and 18 RBI. Ogilvy the tying run on second. Thomas the winning run on first. They're playing for a bunt. We're not going to bunt. So Rodriguez and Pachork play in. Hoyt, Hill goes out to check Hoyt. And here we go. There's a ground ball base hit to shallow right field. Ogilvy will hold at third, and Money, that's easy money. He's now on first base. So everybody's playing in. Moore, 2 for 3. Money was able to keep the line moving. They have 3 chances to get in 1 run. Charlie is 2 for 3. He is singled twice. So the infield is all playing in. 3-2 Chicago. Bottom of the ninth. That's the computer's job to get rid of Hoyt, not mine. Caldwell looking now at a CG win. Here's the pitch to Moore. Ground ball to Law. Throws home, and they did not get him. We are tied up. The throw home was not in time, and the run scores. And the Brewers have put 2 on the board here in the bottom of the ninth. And there's nobody out. And those who have stayed through 18 innings of baseball, not many people here left, but they're all hanging around. There's nobody out for Eddie Romero. And Harvey Keene goes to the... Let me see. Yep. Goes to the bench again for Jim Gantner. Jim is at 313 on the year. 2 homers and 28 RBI. Gantner has 3 game-winning RBIs on the year. 3-3, nobody out, bottom of the ninth. Are we ready? Infield's in, outfield is in, everybody's up. Hoyt delivers, ground ball right to Bernazard, throw home. They got him over to Pachork for 2. Got it! Call it 2! Oh, baby! LaMarr Hoyt got it. He threw it to Hill for 1, and then over to Pachork for the double play. So it goes 1, 2, 3 on the card. That's a Lawrence Welk play for you. 1 and a 2 and a 3. And so 2 out for Yost, who is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And yep, that indeed was lucky. So if Yost can't win the game, Baines, Law, and Rodriguez for the Chi Sox in the 10th. But we still have unfinished business here in the 9th. Hoyt delivers, gets away from Hill. Here comes Money, and the Brewers walk it off. They win it on a wild pitch. 4-3. They get the double play. They almost get out of it. And then Hoyt uncorks one. And Money pays off. And the Brewers split this doubleheader. They win the second game 4-3. How about that, boys and girls? And so Mike Caldwell, who threw a 3-hitter and was going to lose, benefits from 3 in the bottom of the 9th from Milwaukee to pick up his 7th win. Hoyt goes to 6-9 on the year. And so these 2 teams split. Steve Kemp got the first run of the game. He had a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 6th to make, or top of the 6th, to make it 2-0. And then Cecil Cooper with a triple to make it 2-1 in the bottom of the sixth. A sac fly from Ron LaFleur made it 3-1. Barojas didn't throw that many pitches in game one. I'm surprised he didn't come in the ninth in game two. Cecil Cooper homered to make it a one-run game, and then Charlie Moore hit the ground ball to tie it, and then Don Money scores on a wild pitch to win the game 4-3. Yeah, I don't understand why the AI didn't lift him, especially in that he had pitches left. And a fresh bullpen. We just started the second half. So both go the distance. Cecil Cooper went 3 for 4 with a triple, a homer, 2 RBI. But Mike Caldwell is our Miller Lite player of the game. 3 earned runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. It's kind of strange, but if the AI always acted the way we think that they should. No, I was ready to go for how long? I'm glad I didn't go 18. Milwaukee rigged that one because they didn't want to use their pin. So these two teams split a doubleheader. And you'll see me now on camera. So that was a good game. Like I said, I would have lifted Hoyt, but you're darned and you do. No, I know the game. I know you're joking. The game was not rigged. You're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. One of those deals. All right. So let's get right to it. Everyone else played a lot of baseball today as we start the second half of the year. So the Cubs beat the Braves 6-2. Ferguson Jenkins gets his 7th of the year. Billy Buckner with 2 homers. He now has 10. Texas beats Toronto 4-3. Toronto's going to be an interesting story in the second half if they can keep pace. The Rangers are 30-52. Rick Honeycutt beat Dave Stieb in that one. Baltimore beat Seattle 7-6. Sammy Stewart goes to 7-3. Bill Caudell, who got the save in the All-Star game, took the loss for the Mariners. Jose Cruz with his 9th of the year. Oakland beat the Yankees 6-1. Mike Norris with his 7th win of the year. Dwayne Murphy, coming off his All-Star game appearance, had his 15th of the year. Kansas City beat Boston 6-4. Larry Gura, his 9th win. Akins with his 9th home run. Cleveland beat California 9-7. Brennan with a win. Goltz with a loss. Bobby Grich did not steal on Steve Christmas, but he did his 9th of the year. Pittsburgh beat Houston 6-1. John Candelaria goes to 3-5. Dale Berra 4 for 4 with 2 RBI and a double. Tigers beat the Twins 7-2. Dan Petrie starts the All-Star game, then beats the Twins. He's 10-6. Lou Whitaker 2 for 3 with his 10th of the year. St. Louis beat Cincinnati 5-2. John Stuper goes to 3-0 on the year. Philadelphia all over San Francisco 9-2. Mike Krukow with his 10th of the year. The Dodgers beat the Mets 4-0. Jerry Royce 11-5. Pete Guerrero 4 for 4. And Montreal beat San Diego 6-2. Charlie Lee, a 10-game winner in 1982. So the Dodgers lead over the Braves is 10. Montreal's over Philly is 6. California's 2 over Kansas City, 5.5 over Chicago. Detroit by 1 over Baltimore, 4 over Milwaukee, and 6 over Toronto. 7 o'clock tonight, Cincinnati and St. Louis from Saturday will make, so then we'll be all caught up and ready to go on the new, more relaxed schedule. Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday with us. Join us back tonight before Game of Thrones at 7 Eastern for the Reds and the Cardinals. Until then, I'm Ron Chuckett. Thank you very much. Hit that like and subscribe and the bell when I go live. Ding, ding. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.